Okay, so in the last video I did, which I do apologise, it was quite choppy. I didn't even realise. Oh, no, didn't drop anything then. That's fine. Oh, it's starting to play up, I tell you. Yeah, so I do apologise. Last video was quite choppy, and I was starting to drop now. Stabilised yet? I will redo it at another stage, so we can go back through all the things. I basically just went through a lot of the basic stuff to get it to where it is now, which is pretty much a player can run around, use the inventory, equip a weapon, and use that weapon to attack an enemy, and the enemy can attack back. Really simple stuff. It actually only takes probably 5 to 10 minutes to actually set up, and then after that it's pretty much you can just cut and paste the enemy AI and set it through. It's a lot quicker than the 2 hours that I took to go through everything and explain what I knew about it. But tonight's one, I can go on to talk about how to make your own item and how to bring in your own assets and use them, but I've made a promise to someone on the forums that I'd actually have a look at one of their community add-ons, so I think we'll go into that today. They're adding in new items and adding in the other bits and pieces that could be done at any time, and I might even just integrate that into the redoing the first video anyway. So for tonight we're going to be looking at one of the packs that we've got, which is the HUD waypoint. This one's by Sickscore, and we'll also be looking at one of the other ones that it is, the first one that we'll do tonight, which is a double jump feature. So as we showed before, and as I can actually show now too, as soon as it switches over, first time cooking, it literally takes a bit. So when we jump, of course, we've got the single jump, and then we just keep in the jump animation until we drop back down. And as I played the other day, you can jump off the top box, and if you're too high, you'll do the big fall thing. Sometimes you might want to make it an adventure game or a platformer that's got the double jump feature, so you'll jump once and then jump again in the air. At the moment that's not able to be done, but there is actually just a handy little bit of code that can be inserted into the code, into the control scripts to allow actually jumping, including a little slider bar to add how many times you can jump in the air. So if you want to make one where you've got like maybe a jetpack or something like that, you can adjust that sort of thing. Anyway, let me just stop this as soon as I can. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to bring up my window here for how to do it. So the double jump. So the first thing that we need to look at is the third person motor script. Now if I actually go into Invector, where is it? You know, I'm just going to type in. There we go. So I want to actually be able to read. So it's the third person motor. Sorry, that's this one here. As you can see, it's just got it on here. A couple of things that pop up, and that's your basic script as you go through. But there's obviously more. I'm going to open it. Can I just select open in mono develop? I think it's going to try and open up something silly. So how do I run mono develop without having to double click it? Whatever. Alright, double click. Yeah, so it's going to open that and ask me if I want to do that. I don't usually use Visual Studio because it is really annoying. You've got to sign in and do all that sort of stuff. Exit. No thank you. Close. Now it's just going to automatically open it in mono develop now, which is good. Bit weird. Doesn't mean that I can't open certain things. Anyway, so here is our script. Or should I say, here is the script. Just make sure that it's visible on the screen. Oh yeah, someone's joining in. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do, actually just a little quick edit. Yeah, you can see that perfectly fine. We need to bring up third person controller. Now the first set of instructions which are available on the forum, I might put a link in the video to the forums after this so you can have a look yourself. Insert at the end of jump options, sorry. there's a little bit of snippet here. So we're going to have to find jump options. So if we have a look through locomotion type, you know, I'm just going to go Control plus and type. Where's my usual Control F? There we go. Jump options. So here we go. That's what we need to find. So at the end of that, which is actually right here, we're going to paste in the code snippet from the start. So you'll see on the page there's it's separated, it's pretty clear on how to do it. So you separate that. Now we've got here increase number to enable multiple jumps on your character. So this is allowing us to enable the multiple jump. We've obviously got range of 1 to 10. I wouldn't suggest you need it more than 10. Now we're making it a public integer, which is multi-jump equals 1, hide in inspector, public int, current multi-jump. Yeah, interesting. Alright, so I'm going to save that one out, and then the next one that it wants us to do is third person controller, which is this one here. So we're going to open that up again. It's going to ask me for that, which is just stupid. No, I don't. Oh, yeah, I do want to exit. Open it up here. Here we go. Now, this one here, there's actually a lot more on it, and it wants us to replace or modify the jump function. So we need to find the function for jump. I'm going to go Control F again. I'm just going to put in jump. There we go. That's the function there. Animator is transition, so it just says all of that, doesn't it? How's that? Alright. So we want to pretty much just highlight that entire function, and we're just going to paste in what's already on the post. Just want to make sure that I'm not... No, that's fine, that's how it's supposed to be. Cool. So we just go Control V. As you can see, we've added in a bunch more stuff. But Windows line endings, yeah, okay, cool, no worries. So coming through here, it has got enough. Check if multi-jump is possible, so that's checking from the third person mode whether we've actually got that, and that's all set up. Max jump value, jump counter, blah blah blah, no worries, file. Okay, because I converted it, it's automatically saved it at the end of that. So that's that part. Now if we come through here, I click on our third person controller, after it's now just done the little bits and pieces it needs to recompile. Should be somewhere on here. We're going to jump options. Here we go, multi-jump. So now we've got a slider bar that allows us to pick how far we jump, or how many times we can jump, sorry. So I'm just going to set it to 2, because we just want to be able to jump twice, and we'll see how that works out. Now I'm just going to bring up dashboard. That's all cool. That's all cool too. All good. Alright, so we're going to extend that out now. We're going to give that one a little test and see how that works. Have I got any audio coming out of that? Yes, we did. Didn't have any out of my headphones. So now we're going to jump. We've jumped once and we've landed. We're going to jump and hit it again. Now we've double jumped. Boing boing. That's pretty cool. Now let's see how that goes when we jump that up to, let's just say 4. Whoa! So that's pretty high. I'm actually going to get the controller out for this so that I'm not just playing with my camera. I'm going to jump, 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 jump. Ooh, okay. So that's another part of the ragdoll physics there, is that if you jump and fall too far you can land a bit funny looking. So go bounce, 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 and we landed on that. So that worked out well. So now we can actually double jump up onto here. Before we weren't able to do that, if you can tell from the last video. Oh, and this guy looks like he's getting a little bit angry. Doing this just for the fun of it, because why not? Oh, no, get away from me. Oh, okay. So it actually still relies on the stamina as well, which you can see is the green bar down there. And what's happened with the swinging on this? So, looks like it's been held in a funny way. Yeah, so I might have changed one of the values there, or not saved out. I actually fiddled with this the other day and put in another player character and then reverted back to this one, but it looks like I've messed up on the... Oh, no, okay. So this has got to do with the ragdoll. This is an issue that I might bring up with the developers. So when I did that ragdoll for fall before, it's actually thrown the weapon holding point out. So now it's sort of rotated it. I'm not too sure why it does that. There might be a setting or something that I missed, but I'll look into that one. Anyway. So we can see that the double jump works, and no, it's fairly simple. I mean, you do have to go into the code if you're not comfortable with going into code. Well, too bad, do it anyway. It is fairly simple. The instructions are there. Just follow the instructions on the site, and they are simply look for this point, copy, and paste over the top of it. So exceptionally simple for that one. All right. So now that we've chucked that one in, we're actually going to bring in our other pack, which is the HUD waypoint add-on. Now, there was a version of this that came out before that was a test, and it was simply just for adding in the waypoints, and it was super simple to use and actually really good. The new version of it is brought out with an actual map system, so you can open up a map, set a waypoint marker on things, and then close the map out, and you'll have the marker set up on your screen. So that's going to be super cool. Especially when you mix it with a few of the other add-ons, which you might do at another time as well. That allows us to create like a full-blown mapping system with waypoints. So if you've got quest markers, things like that, monsters. But anyway, enough talk. Let's actually load it in. So you can see here, got all the different stuff that we need to do. I'm just going to import all of that. Now let me just have a look. It tells me it doesn't actually have any kind of... Yeah, it doesn't come with anything to explain what to do, so I'm just going to make sure. I'm going to go back to the add-ons page, and we'll just have a quick look through. Right. So, in order to get it running, we need to drag the first prefab, which is the waypoint canvas. So this is going to be the canvas which all of the little waypoint toggle images are going to appear on. So we need to chuck that into our scene. Obviously just put it to anywhere in the scene. It's not going to pop up because it's always going to be screen space. Now, after that, so we're on the waypoint canvas. As you can see here, we've got the V controller and V camera game objects that it needs to find. So for this one here, because we're just doing a basic scene, we've already got the third person controller in there. We're actually just going to rename that to player, just to make it easier for us. And then wandering enemy was the path, and enemy AI. We're just going to put this bad guy. That way there's it's not black and white. No, it is black and white. We can understand there's no grey area there. Alright. Player, B controller. So obviously we want the B controller is the third person controller, which is on our player model, our player object. Now the camera is our third person camera, which we chuck in here, and then it's looking for the third person camera script. Now the waypoint holder and indicator enemy, that's already in there from what's set up automatically. Now you've got the input settings here, which you can actually toggle the different buttons. We'll have a look at those a little bit later, because this is all for the new this is for the new stuff, and I haven't actually played with this yet. But now that we've got it on there, that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to set up this item here. We are going to add V waypoint target script to each game object that we want to track. Oh yeah, cool. So we're going to go in here, we're going to go V target, V waypoint target, and this is where we get to set up. So right now I've put this on the cube. We have a look here. So this cube here, we've got all the settings we can do for our little waypoint marker. So the label we're going to call it ice cube. And the icon sprite, we're just going to click on here and pick a lovely sprite that we can use to mark it with. So we're just going to go with a regular indicator triangle. The colour of the triangle, we're actually going to change that to a blue colour, just so it conflicts with the thing. The distance colour, that's so you can actually adjust the distance, the colour transition. So if you get closer, you might want it to change a little bit of colour. And I'm assuming that that's just like an alpha value, that one. I could be wrong, I'll check into that. Now the arrow colour, so that's the colour on your screen. So when you move away from the camera being able to see the object, it's actually going to pop up with a little marker or a directional marker on your screen to show you which way to go. So if you're turned around to the right, you'll see a marker will pop up on your left pointing you to turn the camera around to the left, and then you'll see it. So for that one there, we want it to actually, in this instance, we're going to want it to match, so we're just going to go with the same blue. Now the enemy, there's actually no, this one's just a cube, so it's not going to be the enemy character, it's not going to track the enemy. We want scale based on distance, so we're going to leave that blank. Scale based on distance, so the icon, instead of saying the one size on your screen the entire time, it's actually going to shrink down so it remains the same height that it is, well basically it remains like it's the same in 3D space, it's the same size, depending on how far away from it you are. Now the begin scale distance just means that once you're within 50, it's going to actually start affecting that scale size. So because you don't obviously want to go super far away and it ends up being really huge on your screen or really tiny. You want it to basically keep the same. Scale type is increase or decrease, so yeah, it'll increase when we get further away, I think, or closer to it, I can't remember which one, but we'll figure it out once we click play. The minimum and maximum scale, so you can actually set the scale size limits on it, and it'll go between those limits over that period of time, or that period of distance, should I say, length. Only icon distance. Oh yeah, so especially when you're tracking an enemy, it can actually pop up with the enemy name, it'll pop up with the enemy health stat bar and stuff like that. You might not want that when you're super far away, you only really want to just have the icon and the name, so that allows you just to set how far away that is. Visible distance is the other one as well. Why have they got that indicator offset? They got that Y set to 65. I thought Y was up. That's weird. Alright, anyway, we want it to be 2 up above the object, or maybe even actually 1.5. It is only a cube, so that might be alright. How big is the cube? Yeah, 1. So we go 1.5, so it should pretty much be hovering somewhere above the top here. We can always fiddle with that later. Anyway, we've got that done now, so let's actually just run that and see how that looks. So as you can see, I've got that little Invector thing popping up on the hood. As you can see, as I'm moving the camera around now, you've got the little blue marker that's currently at the bottom. It's going to move around as I move the camera. It's going to follow where that icon is. And now that we've gone here, we can see, you can see off in the distance it says Ice Cube. Bit hard to see that icon. Because we've set the icon colour to the wrong thing. So I'm just going to hit escape so I can get my mouse back. We're going to change that icon colour again to the dark blue colour, and we should be able to see that contrast against the sky. So yeah, there you go, you can see that there's the icon. As we move closer, it's only within 20, so the increase-decrease thing should be working at the moment. So as you can see, as we move closer with that increase size to X scale, it's actually trying to make it retain the same size on my screen as I move closer towards it, rather than being tiny or being super large as I'm walking and making no change. So we'll just go into that. And of course, yeah, it's got the distance counter, so you can see, that's a bit hard to see against my blue, should have thought about that. Yeah, so you've got the distance, you've got the icon, and you've got the name. So that's what it will show there. Now, we're just going to run off out of this, guys. You get away from me. There we go, so we've run far enough away that we've lost the AI, that's good. Now we're going to escape, we're going to pause that. Now, we want to do one for our bad guy. So we're going to add here, we're actually going to do the target again. This time here we're going to just label him as bad dude, because that's what he is. And we're going to give him a skull, because he's a bad looking skull dude. We want it to be red for the label, so we obviously want the name to be appearing in red. And the distance colour, again, I don't really... Oh, okay. So it's not about the alpha fade value, that's the distance is the number down the bottom that's reading how far away you are. Sorry, brain pooped. Alright, so again, icon colour, and then the arrow colour, we want that to be red as well. Yeah, just keeping it in style. You can actually change these colours to whatever kind of scheme fits your game best, or your art style. Now, because this one's an enemy, we actually want it to track the enemy as it moves around, and also as its health and everything goes through. So it is going to actually drag the character onto itself, and now it's looking for the AI controller, which is this script just up here. How are we going still? Yeah, cool. So again, scale based on distance, begin scale distance. 50. We're just going to change that to 30. And you know what, we're going to change that to 2. And we'll leave that at 6.5. Now, icon only distance, we'll leave that at 35 because I'm going to actually run away from it first so we can see that shift. Visible distance is, we'll just put that at 60 so that it'll actually disappear if we're more than 60 away. And indicator offset, we're actually going to, we're going to set that back to 1.5. Hopefully that should float above the character. Anyway, I'm going to hit play again. Now this time you can see there's actually 2 icons on the screen. We've got one that's moving around now, even though we're not moving our camera. That's because it's actually tracking the enemy player, the enemy AI. So we've got 2. We've got the blue, which is from our original ice cube, and then we've got the red one, which is for our bad guy. And if I turn around, there you go. You can see off in the distance, so you might not be able to see because it's still pretty far away. We've got bad dude. We've got a health bar, and then we've got a distance. Now it's not really sitting up high enough, so I'm going to change that to 2. Let's see how high above it. Nah, still not quite high enough. I'm going to go 2.5. Just increments of 0.5 makes it a bit easier. Now that should, so that's fighting above his head at a fairly reasonable height. If you're playing an MMO, it might look fairly normal for that. So now we're going to run in. As we get closer, should be able to see that it increases with size. So it's actually increased to a size that we want more with it now. Let's equip our axe, and as you can see, I was right about before, it is on the right way. So it's to do with when the ragdoll hits and resets the thing. Now as you can see, we've done some damage to him, so his health bar actually sits up above his thing, which is absolutely brilliant because there's a lot of games where there's assets that you've got to make to tie in to actually have that float above their head, and there's a few good ones around, but they're all hard. Now as you can see, what's happened there is once we've killed him, it's actually dropped off, so there's no more thing. It just closes it out, which is great, and it does that for the nav agent as well, but it doesn't delete the script. Now this time we're going to try that again, and I want that minimum to be 1 so that it's actually quite large. Yeah, it should be. And then we want the visible distance, we're going to drop it down to 50 so I don't have to run so far away. Now we're going to see what it looks like when it's... I'm going to have to change it back to 3.5 again. Yeah, so you can see that's fighting up above his head, and it's obviously fairly large. The further we get away, it's now dropped off. So icon only distance is 35. Yeah, 34, 35. You can see it's now just displaying his health bar and then nothing else. So that's something we're going to have to pick up on so that health bar disappears as well, because otherwise you can see it's just a health bar there, which is a bit silly. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It works like that. Now the map. How do we get to the map? Press back, no. Press start, no. M. There we go. Alright, so now we've got a map set up. This is something new with the new update. I haven't played with this before, so that's why I didn't know what the button was for it. If we go down here, oh, that's pretty groovy. So we can actually see several points of the map. We've got this one here, which is the ice cube, which I might have to change if I go waypoint, map camera, wandering cube 1. Here it is. Distance. sorry, icon colour, blue, and there we go. And we're actually going to change that min-max scale to okay, yes, I'm actually going to show us that. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I do like that it's got that. That's pretty cool. We need to figure out how to get it so that the icon can actually become bigger when it's scaling from this camera. So I think right now these settings here might be tied to the main camera, and this secondary map style camera is yeah, well, it's going to cause a little bit of trouble. Anyway, we're going to right click here. Now we get to make our own waypoint. So we're going to call that new waypoint. I need to hide that other canvas, don't I? So let's just go ahead and hide that for a minute. So we go here, new waypoint. We're going to call this oh, no, that didn't work. Let's have a look. Okay. Alright, so what if I redo that? Is that gonna waypoint? Alright, so what's basically happening now is because I'm using other keyboard inputs, it's actually, what's our mod thing? So it's taking those inputs as though they're regular inputs, so it's going to have to, we're going to have to change something somewhere so that it disables other inputs while we're trying to put in this waypoint, or make a more streamlined thing, so we just right click and it inserts a friendly waypoint somewhere, which you can do for your game anyway. But now we want the label to be green, we want the distance marker to be green, we want the icon to be green, and the arrow to be green. Now we can show label, yeah, show distance, show icon. Yeah, cool. So we can change our icon as well. It's just going to go through the preset icon list, which I'm sure we could figure out somewhere and change. We're going to leave that as a star, and we're going to go accept. Now that's just placed that icon in the world. A bit hard to see because I'm using the flat colour, so it's lit a little bit funny. But now that we've done that, we're going to click on that, and then you can see we've now got the green marker arrow, the blue marker arrow, and our red wandering enemy marker arrow. And when we turn around, we've got the waypoint marker here. So yeah, Ice Cube is quite large because we bumped that one right up. The waypoint marker, yeah, it's getting smaller. Get away from me! Don't you do it! Don't do it, man! Don't do it! I'm gonna cut you, bad dude. I'm trying to do a tutorial. Can you stop? There we go. Cool. And we're gonna put that away. And we're gonna drink, even though we don't need to. Yeah, cool. So yeah, as you can see, the marker doesn't get culled by objects in front of it, which is yeah, I suppose you either want that or you don't want that. There'll be a way to play around with it. We'll double jump up onto Ice Cube, and there we go. That's how you chuck on these waypoint things. So it's a really simple system to implement onto the Invector controller. Yeah, a couple of things that I want to change there, such as I need to figure out how to lock out the rest. I might even have a look. There might actually be a method for doing that. I just too blind to see it. Let's just run our little waypoint onto this guy, and of course we press M, and we can see our little dude here. We can scroll in with the mouse wheel. Click here, change icon to little dead man. Accept. And he's got a little dead face. Aha, now he's up in the air. So how did that end up in the air? Let's have a look at that real quick. So I've clicked on that. Oh, okay, here you go. So you can't actually set the X, Y, Z value up here. So for some reason it's popping me right up, whereas if I click here, all 9, and then that's on 0 because it's basically colliding with the terrain there. So it'll always be at the bottom of the terrain. Depending on what you want for your project, you could actually set that so that that value will always be X amount above whatever it collides with. So you can do it the same for the other things. I'm sure that's something we can play around with one day and then figure out. But for now, that's how we draw it. And you can choose what you want to have on it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, if you were doing like an RPG game, you'd pretty much just want a one-button solution. So much like The Witcher 3 does it, you have your dark green, and it places the icon, and then obviously works as it does anything. And we've also got a compass here on the map, which is quite cool. Alright, there we go. So let's just go cancel that and stop. Alright, that's all I really wanted to go over tonight. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll jump on again another night and I'll redo the original one, so how we import the fresh new project, and how we set up the NPCs and the player character, and set up all the inventory stuff. Again, if you've got any extra suggestions, jump on the Discord and leave a message, or jump on the forums and figure it out there. Just hit me up and we'll be able to set it up for you. Thank you very much for watching.